Okay, let's cut the fluff. Your bank account? Yeah, it's probably screaming for help. And what do? You keep buying self-help books instead of actually fixing things. Most financial advice out there, let's be honest, sounds like it was written by someone who's never had that cold sweat moment right before payday. Not fun. But this is different. I'm about to share 8 money habits that actually work. The ones that separate people who retire at 45 from people who, well, retire never. So buckle up, my friend. Your wallet is about to get a serious reality check. Number 8. The wealth thermostat. And yeah, this one's a little uncomfortable. Here's a scary truth most people never hear. You have an invisible money ceiling in your head, and chances are you didn't choose it. You probably picked it up when you were a kid, watching your parents stress about bills, hearing money arguments, feeling that tension. That stuff sticks. Think of it like a thermostat, but for your money. Whenever you start earning more, your brain quietly panics. So what happens? You spend more. You mess up. You drift back to that familiar place. Just enough money, but still stressed. Your brain likes what feels normal, even if normal is low-level anxiety. Too cold? The heater turns on. Too hot? The AC kicks in. Too much money? Suddenly you're buying stuff you don't even need. So how do you fix it? You change how you see yourself. Not your budget first, your identity. You have to start thinking and saying, I'm someone who builds wealth. Say it every morning. Yeah, it feels awkward. Do it anyway. Because the brain rewires itself through repetition. What you repeat, you become. And please, stop saying, I'm just not a money person. That's not a personality trait. That's an excuse your brain uses to stay comfortable. Your money thermostat was set by accident. Now, you reset it on purpose. Number 7. Subscription vampires. Yeah, they're quietly sucking the life out of your bank account right now. 12 streaming services you barely watch. A gym membership you haven't touched since, well, Obama was president. That meditation app that's supposed to relax you, but just stresses you out every time you see the charge on your credit card. This is called subscription creep. Death by 1,000 tiny charges. $7 here, $12 there. Harmless, right? Except it adds up fast. The average American loses over $200 a month on forgotten subscriptions. That's $2,400 a year. Think about that. That's a vacation, an emergency fund, freedom, just gone for apps you forgot even existed. Why don't we notice it? Because the brain ignores tiny recurring payments. It's called the pain of paying threshold. Small charges don't trigger the part of your brain that feels financial pain. They just slip by, quietly bleeding your money. Here's the move. Cancel everything. Yes, all of it. Then only resubscribe to the stuff you actually miss after 30 days. Spoiler, most of it, you won't even remember it existed. You're not just cutting costs, you're performing financial surgery on invisible tumors. Number 6. The silent flex. Here's the thing. Broke people love to look rich. Rich people, they don't care if they look broke. This isn't some cheesy motivational poster nonsense. It's called stealth wealth. And honestly, it's the ultimate financial power move. When you buy flashy stuff to show off, luxury bags, expensive watches, you're doing what economists call conspicuous consumption. Basically, you're paying extra money just to tell strangers you've got money. And guess what? They don't care. That's not confidence. That's insecurity with a receipt. The wealthy, they know real status comes from options, not from showing off the choices you've already made. They drive modest cars, not to be humble, but because they'd rather own the dealership than impress the valet. And there's a brain side to this too. Flashing wealth feels good for a moment, but it puts you on a hedonic treadmill. You'll always need something bigger, flashier, newer, just to feel the same rush. The real flex? Not a Rolex on your wrist. It's the complete absence of financial stress in your eyes. That's what compounds over time. Stop buying things to prove you made it. Just actually make it. Number 5. The future self negotiation. Right now, there's a version of you 10 years from today. That person? They're either going to be thanking you or cursing your name while slurping ramen in a tiny studio apartment, wondering what went wrong. The problem, $100 today feels way better than $200 in 5 years, even though mathematically, that's just dumb. Here's a cool fact. Stanford researchers found that when people saw aged photos of themselves, they saved more money. Why? Because suddenly, your future self stops being some abstract stranger and feels real. So here's the hack. Before any big purchase, literally ask yourself, would 65-year-old me approve of this? Imagine that future version of you, gray hair, hopefully wise, staring at your bank statement. It makes your brain act differently. It wakes up the prefrontal cortex, the planning center, and quiets the toddler in your brain that just wants candy now. You're not just saving money, you're paying your future self a salary just for existing. Number 4. Building your financial moat. Medieval castles had moats for a reason. They kept invaders out. Your money needs the same kind of protection. But instead of alligators, you're using systems. This is called friction engineering. Basically, you make it harder to make bad financial choices. Unlink your credit card from Amazon. Delete those shopping apps. Put a 24-hour rule on anything over $50. Behavioral economists call this choice architecture. You're designing your environment so smart money decisions become the easy default. Every little barrier you add between yourself and impulse spending, that's a brick in your financial moat. There's another layer too, your identity moat. Hang out with people who have healthy money habits. Your net worth usually ends up being about the same as the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If your friends treat money like toilet paper, guess what you'll do, subconsciously? Protect your wealth from both outside threats and your own worst impulses. Build the moat, fill it with good habits, and don't let the drawbridge down for every targeted ad that pops up on your feed. Number 3, the skill stacking advantage. Most people think making more money means working more hours. That's old thinking. The people who do really well, they don't trade time for money. They trade skills for leverage. This idea is called skill stacking, and it's powerful. You don't need to be the best in the world at one thing. You just need to be pretty good at a few things that work well together. Being top 1% in sales? Super hard. But being top 25% in sales, writing, and understanding people? That combo is rare and insanely valuable. And here's the key part. Each new skill doesn't just add value, it multiplies it. That's real synergy. Someone who can code, design, and explain ideas clearly is often worth more than 3 separate specialists. There's a brain benefit too. Learning different skills creates new connections in your brain. You become more creative, better at solving problems. You literally get smarter. So maybe don't default to Netflix every night. Even 30 minutes a day spent learning adds up to hundreds of hours a year. You're not just learning random stuff. You're building an army of skills that work together and make you harder to replace and harder to fire. Number 2, the network dividend. You've heard this a million times. Your network is your net worth. But let's be honest. Most people treat networking like collecting business cards at conferences, and that's about as useful as collecting stamps in 2026. Real networking isn't about impressing people. It's about helping people. Think of it like this. You help someone. They help someone else. And somewhere down the line, that value comes back to you with interest. This is what sociologists call social capital, and it's one of the most underrated assets you can build. There's real science behind it too. Humans are wired for reciprocity. When you give genuine value without asking for anything, you create a natural desire to return the favor. That's not manipulation. That's just how healthy communities work. The wealthy understand this. They don't only network up, they network out. They build real relationships with people at every level because opportunities come from places you'd never expect. Your next big idea might come from a chat with your barber, not your boss. So treat people the way you treat good investments. Be patient. Be consistent. Think long-term. Strong networks pay dividends for decades. Stop collecting contacts. Start building real relationships. Number 1, the anti-comparison shield. This is the most important habit on the whole list. Skip it, and everything else starts falling apart. Comparison is the thief of wealth. When you measure yourself against social media highlight reels, your brain freaks out. Cortisol spikes, stress goes up, decision-making goes down. Suddenly, you're spending just to keep up with people who are probably deeper in debt than you are. This is called relative deprivation. Your satisfaction isn't about what you have, it's about what you see others having. And let's be real, social media only shows the richest 5% all the time. So your brain thinks everyone's killing it, except you. Here's the hack: radical comparison restriction. Unfollow accounts that make you feel poor. Replace them with financial education. Track your progress, not someone else's highlight reel. The only person you should compare yourself to is who you were 6 months ago. If you're better than that person, you're winning. Everything else? Noise, designed to make you buy stuff you don't need. Build the shield. Protect your mind. Because a calm, peaceful brain makes better financial decisions than a jealous one ever could. If these 8 habits hit harder than your morning coffee, go ahead and smash that like button like it owes you money. Subscribe to the channel because we drop videos like this every single day to make sure you don't stay broke. Share this with that one friend who still thinks treat yourself is a retirement plan. And now, close this app and go do something that actually builds your future. Your bank account's waiting.